prepping phase is going sort of well. Better than demo phase, I think.
Last time on Bussing on a Budget,
we're painting today! Now I'm working on sanding down all the rusty areas in the interior, so I've already started on this one. Just generally trying to smooth out any of the kinks and imperfections in the metal wall. So here we go.
we used a random orbital sander with 400 grit paper to get the rust exposed down to the metal. After that, we would be able to start the rust treatment process.
Today is all about continuing to prep the interior walls for painting. So I have been glue-gonning. There was a lot of adhesive, like Velcro stickies stuck to the wall. So I've been glue-gonning off all these stubborn little pieces that have been here since I want to say 97. So I started doing this yesterday. Yesterday I also worked on sanding most of the walls. So today is really about going over some of the spots that I may have missed. I also need to work on the shower. Now I'm just gonna listen to music and glue-gon. Pretty much done with the glue-gon. Now I'm gonna get to working on the rest of the sanding of the interior. I am back to my favorite new hobby, sanding. I'm so over this. I've been sanding for like over a month. I need to sand the shower because the paint is super chipped. Of course, it's the worst looking wall. We decided to just paint the shower and not put a wall panel up, aka that's the only space in the entire truck that's going to have just paint on the wall. And you're probably wondering why we don't just switch to the other side, and it's because we decided to put the kitchen on this side because we wanted the kitchen to have the view, and then because of where the sink placement is, it's going to be near the shower water system, so that water system will be easier. There was a lot of logistics and thought put into why the kitchen should be on this side, hence why the shower needs to also be on this side, which technically it doesn't need to be on this side, but it will just make the plumbing a lot easier for us. Because of all that, I have to spend a lot more time sanding that area. So I'm just procrastinating on sanding now, and I know I need to get to it, but I don't want to. So here we go. To give you an idea of the walls that I'm working on, here's the shower. You see all that paint chip.
I'm trying to smooth it all out, and the floor is pretty rusty. It's just the absolute not smoothest wall in all of the truck. Here's the bathroom for reference. It's so nice. I already sanded a little bit, but you can see how smooth the paint is. Today is going to be my last day of sanding, so I'm super excited. All I have left to do today on the interior is this little panel, a little bit of this panel, and I think we're gonna call it from there. So let's get into some sanding. Have our rust converter, so we can go around and put that on the walls.
To apply the rust converter, we first clean the surface off with water. We brushed the rust converter on and let that sit for 15 minutes before cleaning it off with soap and water. After that, we sanded down the surface, and if there was any rust left over, we worked through the process again. We applied a rust reformer spray paint to the raw metal after everything was treated with the rust converter. We also scraped off all the old caulking that sealed the gaps between the floors and the walls.
Overall, it doesn't seem like a lot of progress has been made, but mentally, a lot of progress has been made. A few more things Dan is working on. He needs to grind out just a couple more of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, just 10 more of the handles. There's a couple other areas that he needs to grind out, and like bits that are sticking out, but we're getting really close to being able to epoxy the floors, and then we're gonna paint pretty much everything with like a mold and water resistant paint.
Don't make the same mistake we did and cover your windows to avoid black specks of metal getting into your glass. We're working on the epoxy flooring today. You can see some white spots, a little bit of flakiness in the plywood. That's actually some water damage. Before we got the rig, it used to leak a little bit, but by pouring epoxy, it'll actually soak into the wood, hardens the fibers, creates a nice fix. When you go to put flooring on top, you can't tell that the plywood below it was damaged. It's not the greatest fix, but if you don't want to pull all your plywood out and replace it, it's a good fix.
We are officially priming the interior. Yay! It's looking amazing. Wow.
Got a coat of paint on the plywood, all the walls for the most part. Still gonna do the ceiling, bench, stuff like that, but it is enough to put the wall panels up. And the floor, that looks a million times better. Power of paint.
Hi, Nuggets. Are you being a good watch boy?